Have you ever asked yourself how some people maintain their lifestyles while other people are struggling to make ends meet? On one hand, people are living better than they have ever lived. Just look at the roads when you drive and see how many people are driving a new car or a car that's not that old and doesn't need a lot of work. How many people are living in nice homes? How many people do you know that are going on these great extravagant vacations? If you look at it, it seems like there has never been more wealth. And to a certain extent, that's true. If you live in America, then you live in the richest nation at the richest time in the world. There's never been people as rich as we are today to be able to travel and enjoy luxury. But at the same time that we're the richest that we've ever been, we're also the brokest that we have ever been. Our national debt has never been higher, or the debt for individuals have never been higher. And so a lot of people have a negative net worth because of how much debt we've accumulated through our homes, through our schooling, through our credit cards, and through our cars, and just life in general. So how is it that we can be the richest and the poorest all at the same time? And when I consider this, one thing I think about is my grandparents and how things used to be. People used to be content with going and getting a job, working a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, getting paid, going home, and just enjoying their family. But today, that's not the case. Today, we want to get the new expensive car. We want to travel all over the world, which are not necessarily bad things, but it leaves us into a position to where we don't have additional money to be able to save and invest and give generously. I also feel like the finish line keeps on moving. The American dream used to be for someone to go get a home, have a few kids, have a car to drive, and that was considered a good life. Today, the American dreams look drastically different. There was a point in time where if a person made six figures, that was something that they could be proud of. But today, 80% of millennials making six figures still live paycheck to paycheck. They're in a ton of debt. They're not saving at the rate that they should save. They're not investing at the rate that they should save. And they are struggling financially. And the finish line has moved further and further back as our expectations continue to rise. There used to be a goal to get to $1 million. And if someone had $1 million, they'd say they were a millionaire and they would feel rich and they feel like they did good in life. But today, if we tell someone, hey, we want you to go work for 30 years, and after 30 years, you'll have a home and you'll have about $1 million, most people would not take that deal. Why? Because in our culture today, there are so many people getting rich fast that we don't want to wait 30 years and 40 years to be worth $1 million. We want it now. That's why the book Millionaire Next Door talked about how most millionaires live in regular communities, drove regular cars, lived in normal homes, and you would never know they were millionaires by the way they dressed. It would be only until you started looking at their assets, their bank accounts, everything that they own, that you would be able to see that they were really rich. But today there's a movement of people who want to retire early. They don't want to work 30 years for a corporation and get a pension or get a retirement check. People don't want to work as long. They don't want to work as hard as they used to work. And so people are wanting to retire earlier and want to do less work before they retire. And none of this is necessarily a bad thing, but it could lead to you getting trapped. So I'm going to briefly speak to you about 3 traps that I want you to stay away from. The first trap is short-term thinking. There's this YOLO mentality that you only live once, Therefore, you take everything that you have and you spend it today. You take your full check, you don't put as much in retirement as you should, and you spend all of your money, you don't save it. And what happens is that vision is really short-sighted, where you're going on vacations, you're driving a nice car, you're going out to eat out a lot, you're doing the things that you want to do, you're enjoying Starbucks and Jamba Juice and desserts, and you're going where you want to go and doing what you want to do, but you have no money left at the end of the month. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and there is no end in sight for how you're going to break this cycle. If that is you, then I want to discourage you from having that short-term thinking, and I want you to start having a long-term perspective. A long-term perspective says I'm not just going to focus on what I could get today, but I'm also going to focus on how I can make my lifestyle better in the future. Another trap that I want you to stay away from is the get rich quick trap. So a lot of people want to quit their jobs or not get a traditional job or not work for anyone because they want to find out a way that they can get rich quick. Most people are able to get rich, but it takes a lot of hard work. And so what I want to encourage you to do is to work somewhere, to get skills, to get knowledge, to continue to build. And then once you continue to build, then you can look at, okay, how can I go and make money? And don't just try to go and fall for whatever the new fad is, whatever the others are doing, where you think you're going to turn around and make a quick profit, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose your full investment. So you want to make sure that you are smart, that you are wise, that you are strategic, that you are prepared, that you are planning, and that you aren't making quick decisions. And the third trap, I believe, is the biggest. It's the never work again trap, where people feel like, I want to never work again. I want to set myself up to where I never have to work again. And that's not a bad thing, putting yourself in a position where your future is secure and your family's future is secure. And so you're not dependent on a job or an income in order to make ends meet, but you've accumulated an amount of wealth that allows you to live comfortably. That is good. But I don't want you to fall into the trap of thinking that life is just about play and travel, because really what you want to look for is your purpose in life, and you want to fulfill that purpose. Your purpose is not just enjoying life as much as you can. Yes, you should enjoy life, and you should go on vacations, and you should buy things you like and go places you want to go and do things you want to do. But ultimately, if you want to live life to the fullest, you have to find what your purpose is. What is it that you're passionate about, that you're skilled at, that you're good at, and what is something that you enjoy doing? If you do that, then you'll live a much more fulfilling life. You'll be a lot happier and fulfilled than you will if you just sat around and did nothing. So I want you to find your purpose. I want you to find your why. And if you could get compensated for your purpose and your why, then that will be even better. So your goal shouldn't be to retire and do nothing, but your goal should be to find your why and just continue doing that as good as you can and as much as you can. If you've learned something from this video, then watch the other videos on my channel, which are all about financial literacy, financial empowerment, and financial stewardship.